Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. Come and join me on the mat. We're going to start standing and just warm up the body. So bring the feet hip distance apart. Stand up nice and tall. Take a couple of good deep breaths in through the nose. Give those shoulders a roll. Let that breath go out through the mouth. 2 more like that. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. And let that breath go. Feel those shoulder blades sliding down towards the back pockets. Bring the pelvis into neutral. Find your core connection, your zip and hollow as you draw your belly button in towards your spine. Your arms hang by your side. And as you take a breath in, let the chin drop towards the chest. Just pause for a moment. Feel that lovely stretch down the neck and across the tops of the shoulders. And then as you exhale, we're going to lift through the upper back. Start to round forward, keeping the hips over the heels. You can bend the knees if you need to. Take a breath in at the bottom. And then exhale as you lift from your center, uncurling your spine. 1 vertebra at a time. Good, let's do 3 more. Breathing in, nod the head. Breathing out, rounding forward. So think about really lifting and opening those back ribs as you come down. Breathe in at the bottom. Feel the connection of the feet to the floor. Exhale, lift once again from your center. Just take a look at those hands. Notice if there's any tension in the arms whatsoever. You want them just to hang heavy by your side. Scooping abdominals in. Great way to practice your roll downs is to stand with a wall behind you. Just standing a few feet out from that wall. It's a great indicator of whether you're pushing those hips back if you feel your hips touch the wall. 1 more. You want to concentrate on keeping those hips stacked over the heels. Take a breath in, bring the arms up, bend at the elbows and bring the hands behind the head, just lightly resting the back of the head. Make sure you're not sticking the chin forward, so think about pressing the skull back into the hands. Then we're just going to take a side bend, so just taking it across, expanding into one side, contracting into the other. Exhale as you draw back to center. And again, inhale over. Just notice the difference from one side to the other. Each time you come back to center, just make sure that the chin isn't pressing forward. So we want to try to get that opposite elbow up towards the sky. Exhale up. One more each side. Lovely stretch into that side body. Holding at center, we're going to take a rotation. So keeping the hips facing forward, just rotate to one side, really wrapping from the ribs. Back to center and take it the other way. So just bringing some heat into the waist. And you might find you need to create a little bit of opposition here. So as you rotate one way, with the waist, the hips are going to want to come too, so you almost want to correct them by opposing the movement. So you keep those hip bones shining forward towards the screen. 1 more each side. Inhale to rotate. Exhale to center. We're going to keep the hands where they are. Take it into your side bend first. We're going to do some round the worlds. Holding in your side bend, we're going to rotate from the waist so the chest faces down towards the floor. Drop down, circle round, coming up into that opposite side bend, and then lift high. Let's reverse it. Side bend, rotate, drop down through center, other way, into that side bend and pull up. Good. Across. Take that side bend first. Rotate. Chest faces down towards the floor. Drop down. Circle round. Opposite side bend. And up. One more. Alternating each time. And come up. Holding the hands still where they are. Make sure that chin isn't coming forward. Just draw the head back, nice and long in the neck. Bring the weight out of the right, into the right leg, and just lift the left foot. Balance for a moment. And then if you can, lift up, knee in line with hip, and at the same time, open those arms wide. Drawing the shoulders down. And balance. Breathing in through the nose. Let's add a little external rotation of those arms. Bring the hands back behind the head and bring the foot down. We're going to change sides. Get your balance first. If you want, you can stay here. Otherwise, we lift off. Take the arms wide. Think of that external rotation of the arms. And balance. This is a trickier side for me. What about you? Holding nice and strong. A few more seconds. And release it down. Just shake out the arms. Shake out the legs. Come to the end of your mat. We're going to have the length of the mat in front of us. Take a nice deep breath in. Drop the head. We're going to take a roll down. Exhale. As you round down, you may be able to keep those legs a little bit straighter now we're warmer. And then we're going to walk the hands out, take it out into your front support. So you can drop down onto those knees if you want to, or you can stay up on the toes. Then we're just going to take a little shift of the weight. So just bring the weight forward, so your shoulders come forward of your wrists, and then push back into the heels. Really stretch those calf muscles. Come forward. Press back. So what you want to avoid happening as you push back is you want to make sure that the bum doesn't come up in the air. So think about keeping that long line. So the torso, everything stays in a nice long line. And you're just shooting weight forward and pushing weight back. Forward. This is our last one. Back. Bring the shoulders back over the wrists, bring the knees down, sit back to rest. So if you need to, just give those wrists a little bit of a release. And then we're going to come back into that 4-point kneeling position. So bringing the wrists beneath the shoulders, bringing the knees beneath the hips. Lengthen the spine, and we're going to take it into some lovely flexion. Take our cat stretch as you scoop belly button up towards spine, tuck tail, head drops. Flexing that spine. And then releasing to your neutral position. If your back feels okay to come into an extension today, we're going to lift and separate those sit bones and press the sternum forward. Just take the eye gaze out in front of your mat. So let's go through those two extremes. Starting in the pelvis, start to tuck the tail, scoop belly button to spine, climbing up the spine. Low back, middle back, upper back. And then releasing, finding that neutral place, and if you want to, come into that extension. Abdomen drops as you lift the tailbone. Inhaling into your cat. Exhaling as you release. One more time. And exhale to release. And then we're going to find that neutral position again, lifting from the core, back nice and long. And we're going to take a pointer variation. So I'm going to take my left arm and my right leg and extend out. And just square the hips and the shoulders. I'm going to lift up Then we're going to flex the foot. We're going to bring the knee in, take the hand in and tap the knee, and then extend back out. Good, so come with me. Come in and tap, foot stays flexed. Press out. Tap and reach. Three more. Keeping the hips square, keeping the shoulders square. Last one. Reach, hand and knee down, press back for a second. Just take a quick little stretch, release of the wrists. And we come back up. Let's repeat that other side. So get your grounding first, your core switched on. I'm going to use my right arm on my left leg this time, extending out, squaring shoulders, squaring hips. Lift, flex foot, and in to tap. Reach long. Inhale. Exhale. Keeping the neck nice and long, so avoid the temptation to look through to see your knee. Feel for it instead. And reach. Two more. Last one. And reach. Hand and knee come in. Sit back and rest. So we're going to take it back up into quadruped again. Reset. We're going to go for some knee hovers. And then we're going to press up into our down dogs. Tuck your toes first of all. Take a breath. And as you exhale, we're just going to hover the knees just millimeters above the mat. So I want you just to keep them as close to the floor as you can. Take another breath. And then as you exhale, we're going to pike those hips up. Press through. Pressing the sternum through, the chest through towards the thighs. Sliding the shoulder blades down the back. And pressing the heels down as close to the floor as you can. And then we're going to flex the spine, round through. Shoulders come over wrists again. Knees hover. Again, just as millimeters above the floor. And then bring the knees down. Take a breath. We're going to do that a couple more times. Breathing in to prepare. Exhale, hover. Really lifting from your center. Breath in. Exhale, pike it up into your down dog. Press through. Push heels down to floor. Taking another breath here. As you exhale, flex the spine, rounding forward, shoulders over wrists, knees hover and hold. Lengthening out your spine. Knees come down. How are you doing? We go for two more. Remember, keep lifting from that center. Keep the core nice and strong. Breath in to prepare. Exhale and hover. Breath in. Exhale, press back. Breath in. Exhale, flex forward. Bend the knees. Hover. Spine lengthens out. Knees come down. Good. Get ready for our last set. Breath in. Exhale, hover. Breath in. Exhale. Lift and press back. Really focus on pressing that chest through. Notice whether the shoulders are up round the ears. We're just going to stay here a little bit longer. Draw the shoulder blades down towards your back pockets. And then just lift one heel and then the other. Again, as you press that heel down, see if you can get a little bit closer to the mat. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift both heels up, come right up onto your tippy toes, press your chest through even more. One more breath here. And we're going to round it through this time, coming into your plank position and hold it here. Remember, you can drop the knees down. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. Lift those thighs up. Press the floor away with the arms. Core is engaged and heels pushing to the end of the mat. 3, 2, 1, and bring the knees down. Take them wide. Big toes together. Press it back. Just lift the hands. Release the wrists. Then just slowly walk the hands up. We're going to cross the ankles behind us. Push. Bring your hands by your knees. Press your hips back behind your heels. And shoot your feet out in front. If you don't like that, just come to seated, whatever way feels right for you. Okay, we're going to come up towards the top of the mat. Just lift and lengthen the spine here for a moment. Take a nice breath. And then as you exhale, round and curl the spine down onto the mat. Good job. Bring the feet up. We're going to bring the feet hip distance apart and just gently plant them to the floor. Bring your awareness to your back body for a moment. The soles of the feet. Just feel the mat beneath the big toe, the pads of the big toes, the little toes, and the heels. Just be aware of the alignment of ankles, knees, and hips. The position of that pelvis. So maybe just take some very small little rocks forward and back. And then find that neutral ground. Moving up the torso, feel that core connection as we zip up, scooping belly button in and up. Still getting great breath out into those side ribs. Think about the front ribs knitted together and the back ribs falling deep into the mat. Open across the collarbone and let those shoulders drop down to the floor. Bring the arms by your side for a moment. So keeping that focus and that awareness in the torso. So the torso's not going to move, but we're going to take a breath in and bring the arms up through the air and take them all the way behind you, keeping that core connection. And as you exhale, the arms are going to come up. We're going to lift the head, look between the knees. Exhale as you press down with your arms, curl up into your chest lift. And then as you release back down on that inhale, bring the arms overhead. So we're going to hold it a little bit longer this time. Take a breath to prepare. Exhale, curling up. Now as you come up, just notice what's happening in your pelvis. You want to keep that neutral position in the pelvis. Sometimes as we come up into the chest lift, we take that slight posterior tilt of the pelvis as if we're trying to bring the pubic bone up to meet us. So think about making sure that that neutral position stays. And then we exhale to release. I'm going to do 2 more like that. As you bring those arms overhead, do those ribs splay. Does that core connection ease? Think about keeping switched on. Exhale, curling up. Pelvis stays in neutral. Breathing in. Nice length in the back of the neck. Breathing out. Last one. Take a breath in here. Exhale as we release. Arms are going to come overhead. I'm going to change the movement here. So keeping that connection with the core, arms reaching behind you. We're going to come into a bridge. So we exhale as we peel the spine up off the mat, 1 vertebra at a time. Breathing in at the top. Think about actively pulling the heels up towards your sit bones. Press your thigh bones away and feel how that really activates into those hamstrings and glutes. Take a breath and then exhale. We're going to sink from the sternum. Taking that posterior tilt of the pelvis so that we curl rather than flatten the spine back down onto the mat. We're going to do 3 more of those. Breathing in to prepare. Breathing out as you peel up, one vertebra at a time. Remember, we want to activate the muscles into the back body, so think about pulling up with the heels. Press those thigh bones away. And release. Sinking, articulating the spine down. Breathing in, breathing out. So you're really focusing on the movement of the spine, focusing on the back body, and noticing where is a challenge for you as you set that spine back down onto the mat. For me, it's certainly curling that low back rather than flattening. So I've got to pay attention right the way down to the bottom. One more. Just noticing those shoulders, making sure they're not creeping up around the ears. We're going to exhale and start to lower the spine, and we're going to put these two moves together. So as the spine starts to lower, start to bring the arms up so that as the pelvis lands, the hands are reaching for the ceiling, and then we're going to contract the abdominals and curl it up into your chest lift. We're going to start to release the chest lift. Arms come up to ceiling. Once the hands are pointing towards the sky, start your bridge. Start picking those vertebrae up off the mat. And we're going to start to release the bridge as the arms come up. Contract the abdominals. Lift into that chest lift. Releasing. Hips start to lift, bridging up. Spine lowers, arms come up. Curling it up into that chest lift. We've got one more. Curling up, up, up. Take your hands behind your thighs. Lift a little bit higher. And then release it down. If you've travelled on the mat a little bit like I have, just reposition yourself. We're going to bring the arms by our side for a moment. Take a breath. Just reposition, reconnect that core. And as you exhale, let's bring the knees over the hips into that tabletop position. Good job. So we want to have the shins parallel to the floor. So if you can see your toes, it just means your feet are maybe a little bit too high, but you also don't want your feet hanging down. So think about making that nice 90-degree angle at the knee and keeping the knees over the hips. We brace those abdominals, bringing the arms overhead as you breathe in. You get set for some hundreds. Exhale, curling up, arms by your side, and let's go. Pump the arms. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Pause it here. Extend the leg closest to your screen to 45 degrees. Let's go again. Pump the arms. Hold it here. Switch legs. And we go again. Pump the arms. Hold, switch, and pump. Last time, hold, and switch, and pump to finish. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Bring both knees back to tabletop. Take the hands behind the thighs. Lift a little bit higher. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push the thighs into the hands. Press the feet away. Contract into the abdominals and curl yourself up to seated. Good job. All right, we're going to set ourselves somewhere in the middle of our mat. We're going to bend the knees. and get set for some rollbacks and some spine stretch forwards. So we're going to combine those two movements. So use your hands behind your thighs, lift and lengthen your spine. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to scoop belly button to spine. Tuck the tail under. So you're tipping the pubic bone up, curling off your sit bones onto the back of your pelvis. Breathing in. And then exhale as you come back up. We're just going to do a couple of these first. Lift tall at the top. And again, exhale round. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, release. Using our abdominal muscles to control the movement. 2 more. And really focus on that posterior tilt of the pelvis. All the way down it, but also all the way up. This time as you come up and your sit bones connect with the mat, take your legs out in front. Legs are together, reach the arms out. And exhale, let's round forward. Breathing in. And exhale as you come back up, reach the arms in front, bend the knees, and take it back. So I've let go of my thighs. It's up to you. You can still hold on if you want. Send the legs out in front as the spine lifts tall and round into that spine stretch. And lift up. Knees bent. Take it back. You can start to take it back a little bit further if you want to onto the low back. Exhale as you come up. Find those sit bones connecting. Legs extend. Scoop in and up as you round forward. So you're really opening those back ribs again. Lift tall. Knees bent. Take it back. Extend. So I'm going to take it up a level here. I'm going to keep my legs straight. You can come with me or continue to bend the knees for your rollbacks. It's up to you. Lift up tall. So this time I'm going to keep the legs straight. Same thing. We're rounding back. Lift tall at the top. And then spine stretch forward. Round it forward. And lift tall at the top. Up to you how far back you go. We want to glue the legs together and glue them down into the mat. If you start to feel them, lift tall at the top. If you start to feel them lifting or your feet kicking in the air, you've maybe just dropped a little bit too low. So just adjust accordingly. Find length in the spine between each roll back and each spine stretch forward. And then we're going to take it on. We've got 4 more. You can choose to stay with just the half roll back, or you can take it into a full roll back with me. Find length at the top. And stretch it forward. Find length at the top and round it back. So you're maybe noticing with each spine stretch forward, you're getting a little bit more range of movement. Maybe you're not, and that's absolutely fine too. Just listen to your body. forward. Last one, lift tall. Last one, round back. Big breath out to help you up. Find height at the top. Last time, let's round it forward. And we're going to hold it here. And as you exhale, just see if you can drop a little bit further. We want to make sure that this stretch is coming from the hips and not the back. So keep the back as long as you can. And just breathe. Just focus on letting go of that tension in the backs of the legs, using that breath to just exhale it out. Two more breaths here. And then slowly start to round it back up. All right, we're going to come back down onto the mat again with our backs. So just rolling your spine down. I'm going to work with a little bit of coordination here, a little bit of leg work, lots of ab work, and a little bit of brain work. So we're going to start off with our single leg stretch, which we're all familiar with. So bring your arms by your side, find your neutral spine and your core connection, and then let's just bring those knees over the hips. Find that tabletop position. Knees hip distance apart. We'll take a breath, bring the arms overhead. Think of that core connection that we talked about earlier. And then as you exhale, bring the arms down, contract up, take the leg closest to your screen, bring it in towards you, extend the other leg out, and really squeeze that knee into the chest. We're just going to hold it here for a little stretch, and we're going to take the opposite leg up to the sky and then down towards the floor, and just feel that range of movement. And again, up and down. We want to focus on keeping the spine nice and long. So we don't want to be curling the pelvis up off the floor. And then try not to hang on too much to that leg. You want your abdominals to be holding you in this position rather than clinging onto the leg. So keep the hands light. We're going to do one more. And then holding that leg up towards the ceiling, bend the knee into the chest. Take the other leg up, bring it to 45 degrees, and then lower it right down. And bring it up. And again, right the way down. And up. Two more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. So bring it to that position that you feel comfortable with, around 45 degrees, but you choose. If you feel your back lifting, you take that leg higher. And we're going to go into that single leg stretch. So we switch and switch. So you want to hit the same point with the toes each time. So think about a bullseye. You're reaching for that bullseye with the toes. Good. Switch and switch. For 4 and 4. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Bring both knees in. Bring the shoulders and the head back down. So just hug those knees in. Take a little rock side to side. And then we're going to bring the knees over the hips once again. Keep the head down for now. I'm going to bring the left knee in towards me and take the right leg out. So you're in your single leg stretch. Then what we're going to do, the leg that's closest to you is going to extend. It's going to press away long, and the leg closest to you is going to come in bent. We extend and switch. So always think about the leg going away from you straight and coming in towards you bent. Yeah? This is where the brain works. So comes in bent, straightens and goes away straight. Other one comes in bent, straightened, goes away straight. Good. Comes in bent, straightened, goes away. So can you add in a chest lift here? It's optional. You don't have to bring the chest up if you don't want to. We're going to continue to move those legs. Extend, comes in bent, extends, goes away straight. Comes in bent, extends, goes away straight. Good. Stay with me. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. You can bring the head down any stage if it gets too much. Out. One more breath. In. Out. Hold that leg straight. Bring the other leg up. Reach. Draw those legs in. Another great hamstring stretch. Keeping the tail down. Draw in. Bring the knees to the chest. Bring the head down. We've got one more variation to keep the brain working. So we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to add in a little crisscross. So if you're not sure, watch the first couple and then join me when you're ready. So we're going to set up again, taking those knees into tabletop. We're going to take the arms and bring the hands behind the head. Just lace the fingers, elbows in your peripheral vision. So I'm going to come into a chest lift, and the leg closest to the camera, or closest to you, sorry, to the screen, is going to come in bent. Other leg goes away straight. I rotate as the leg straightens. Come through. Rotate, straighten. Come through. Straighten. Rotate. So elbow comes to opposite knee as the leg straightens. Rotate. And switch. Come with me whenever you're ready. Good. So same thing. Leg comes in bent and goes away straight. Comes in bent, goes away straight. Good. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more repetition. In and out. Bring both knees in. Hug in. And rest it down. Well done. Just take the legs long. Take the arms overhead. Nice big stretch. Stretch out those abdominals. And then from here, keeping the arm overhead, closest to your screen, we're just going to roll onto that side. So coming into side lying position, we're going to take it up, if you can today, onto the forearm. So we're going to bring that elbow beneath the shoulder. Legs are long. And we can bring them ever so slightly forward. So just bring them at a slight angle if you want. You can keep the legs straight if you like. But just having that slight angle just helps protect the lower back. So we're going to really push away from the floor. You want to focus on working the waist here. We're lifting up the underside of the waist. Pushing down through the bottom leg. Lift that top leg. And we're going to take it up as we point. Flex it down. Point it up. Flex it down. So we want to keep that lift, the underside of the waist. So only take the leg up as high as you can without compromising that waist lift. 4 more. Good. Holding that leg at hip height. We're going to sweep it forward and press it back, keeping the foot flexed. Sweep it forward, press it back. Squeeze into the buttock as you push that leg out behind you. Forward, back. And can you keep the torso nice and still so that we're not pressing the chest forward as the leg goes back, and we're not flexing into the spine as the leg comes forward. So thinking about keeping that long spine the whole time. 2 more. Hold it out in line with the hip. Point the toe. We're going to circle clockwise for 6, 5, 4. Starting to get tired. Remember, keep pulling up from that waist. Let's reverse it for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Hold it out. Oh, bring the legs together. Bend the knees. As you push up off that forearm, the bottom knee is going to come forward. And we're going to come into that mermaid position. So you're in that 90-90 position with the legs. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can have the legs in diamond if it feels better. So we've got that lift of that top hip. So think about just gently activating it down towards the mat without rolling and slouching back. So you want to keep the spine long and just settle that sit bone down towards the floor as much as it can. I'm going to take the arms out and we're going to bring one hand down. We're going away from the ankles first. Exhale as you come up and take it towards the ankles this time. And release. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. 2 more. Last one. Remember, as we go away from the ankles, that top hip is going to want to lift. So focus on trying to keep it anchored as much as you can to really make the best of that side body stretch. And then we've got one more movement. We're going to take it away from the ankles, and as the arm comes up, squeeze into the buttocks, push the hips forward and stretch it over. And just breathe here. You can look towards that bottom hand. Open the chest to the screen. Draw that top shoulder back, pressing the hips forward. Gently release. And bring the legs together. We're going to spin round and change sides. Just going to shift my mic. Okay, so back onto the forearm. Legs are straight out. Check that that elbow is below the shoulder. If you want to have your legs straight, or alternatively just slightly up towards the front of the mat. Slight angle, those hips are stacked. We're energizing through the waist. Top leg, remember, we're going to take it up on a point and we're going to flex it down. Inhale. Exhale. So think about a fire burning beneath your ribs. You don't want to drop the ribs because you don't want to scorch yourself. So you've got to keep lifting up from that waist. Anchor down through the outside of that bottom leg. 2 more. Keeping that foot at hip height, keep it flexed, sweep it forward. Press it back out behind, squeeze into the buttock. Forward and back. Good. So we really want to kick it forward. Try and get as far forward as you can, and then squeeze it back. Remember, we don't want to pitch the chest forward as we push the foot back. So we want to think of that spine long, core pulling in. And then as we bring the foot forward, we don't want to be rounding the back. So keeping it long. Oh, I've lost count. We're going to make this one the last one, I think. Bring the foot back in line with the hip. Point it clockwise circles for 6, 5, 4, 3. Stay with me. You're nearly done. 2, 1. Let's reverse it anti-clockwise for 6. If it gets too much, if that leg's getting heavy, you can make those circles smaller. Last one. Oh, bring the legs together. Each circle was just getting smaller and smaller there. We push up off the forearm, bottom knee comes forward. Find that mermaid position. Just going to hook myself back on here. So again, we've got that lift and that slightly displaced pelvis position. So just think about dropping that pelvis down towards the mat as much as you can without slouching back. So keep long. Arms reach. We're going away from the ankles first. And over. Exhale. Think about using the waist, using those oblique muscles to control the movement. And as you go away from the ankles, try to anchor that top hip as much as you can to get the best benefit of this side stretch. Oh, I love a mermaid. Who remembers Splash? Anybody remember that movie Splash? I loved it. I used to terrify the lifeguards in the pool in Bangor when I was a kid, pretending I was a mermaid, trying to hold my breath for as long as possible under the water. I think I probably terrified my mum a little bit as well. Sure. All right, remember that nice hip lift? So we're going to take the hand away from the ankle. As it lifts up, we're going to squeeze the buttocks, press the hips forward, and reach that arm up and over. So if you can, just take your eye gaze to your hands. You want to open the chest, pull that top arm back as you press the hips forward. And then gently let that go. Come through into diamond. So just bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall wide. Bring the hands onto the feet. Lift the spine, take a nice deep breath. And then as you exhale, let's just fold forward. Just coming down. Breathing into that stretch. Opening into the hips. If you want to deepen the stretch into the hips, you can just gently rest your forearms on your knees and just allow a little bit of pressure to help to open those knees out to the side a bit more. Keep pressing the soles of the feet together. And then just rolling back up. I'm going to turn to one side. So I'm taking my right hand behind me, taking my left hand over to my right knee, lift the chest and rotate the body. Just looking over that right shoulder. There's going to be a tendency to want to slouch into it. So think about pressing the chest forward before you twist. And then come back to center, both hands on knees. I'm going to take my left hand behind, right hand comes to left knee. Lift, press the chest forward and look behind. And keep that hand in nice and close to the hip. Take it back to the center. Take a big breath in, bring the arms up towards the ceiling, palms pressed together. Let that breath go. Bring the hands to the heart. And you are done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this session. I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Bye for now.